First of all, it's a great privilege to be here with IMLS. I'm a huge fan of libraries and museums both. And I see StoryCorps had a very long and deep relationship with both museums and libraries, and now with IMLS as well. StoryCorps has only been around for 8 years, and I think that the technological innovations leading up to the creation of StoryCorps are maybe more dramatic than what's happened since StoryCorps came into existence. A lot of people sometimes refer to StoryCorps as like the anti-Twitter, because it's kind of two people having a human conversation face to face. But if it wasn't for technology, StoryCorps couldn't happen. I mean, I'm not a tech person, but we have whatever trilobytes and whatever bytes of data associated with these 40,000 interviews we've done, about 40,000 hours of digital audio, the first born digital audio collection, I believe, to go into the Library of Congress. The archiving we do, a public archive that hopefully will exist at some point in the not too distant future. The dissemination of the stories over the internet, over Facebook, the millions of people who watch our animations on YouTube. If not for the advances in digital technology, StoryCorps couldn't be. Especially on kind of the metadata and all that sort of the archiving of this stuff. It would just be physically impossible to do without the advances in technology. The big transition had to do with switching to digital audio and editing on computers and sending files over the internet and that kind of stuff. And there actually has been progress. I mean, when we started StoryCorps, we literally burned 2 CDs for participants, and then did I'm not even sure when we transferred to hard drives. I guess we did do transfers to hard drives, but now, of course, while I describe StoryCorps as you walk away with a CD and another CD goes to the Library of Congress, it's actually a digital file that goes to the Library of Congress. So there are advances that have happened, and obviously, storage is much cheaper than it was 8 years ago. There are advances, but those advances haven't really changed the heart and substance of what we do. My life is essentially doing StoryCorps and taking care of my kids. So my museum and library experience is largely bringing my kids to the libraries and museums, other than the StoryCorps interaction. But clearly, I mean, I think that libraries and museums seem to be doing a very intrepid, smart job of integrating technology everywhere possible, and not in a way that, in my experience, it isn't kind of an overkill. Just kind of trying to jump to the front of the technological line, but kind of watching to see what the environment is, and then picking smart kind of interactive projects and integrating them into libraries. So I've been very impressed. Everything from the way that from integrating digital materials into collections, to the way I did something at the Philadelphia Public Library, Free Library, a couple days ago, and the digital signage that they had outside, the way that they were marketing stuff, I thought was very smart.